Hello and welcome to another episode of Scottish Football Matters with me, Lorenzo, and my good friend Murray.
Hiya.
Tonight we're going to be discussing the midweek rearranged Scottish Cup ties that were postponed due to adverse weather earlier in the month. We'll also discuss Celtic's European tie against Stuttgart last night and the fallout from that. And then we will move on and discuss the weekend preview of the upcoming SPFL Premiership matches.
Yep.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. Yeah, obviously best place to start is the two cup games. Um, Full of red card drama, both of them. I think best place to start is Tuesday's one, Dundee United Spartan. Um, the Dundee United boy gets sent off after about 12 minutes when it's at 0-0. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, never a red card, and I think they've appealed it.
Well,
If anything, aye,
if it's
it
not,
was a
then
good red card.
they should get it
Aye,
overturned. Aye.
it was a good red card in the sense that it made it maybe a competitive match. that it
Well,
maybe wouldn't have been. But Dundee United managed the game quite well. Obviously, got a couple of goals, and then Spartans got a late goal to get them back in the tie. But
mhm.
there was always only going to be one win on that tie, and Dundee
Yeah,
United did it. But
knew
it's
that.
just not a red card. It's like, but it's all of this like denial of a goal scoring opportunity. But you're just like, if you're barely even at the halfway line, is it a goal scoring opportunity? Unless you're like taking a touch that's like going like
I know,
a heavy touch that's taking you
because
towards,
a defender could
30,
be
40
speedy
yards
enough
out.
to
Aye.
get back. A defender could be speedy enough to get back, could have the pace to get
And
back.
that one at the weekend that we discussed with Falkirk, I mean, the defender could have got back. I
Yeah,
mean,
aye.
because it wasn't like it was a heavy touch, it was a touch that took him just about to the centre circle.
Mm-hmm.
So you then need to take another two, three touches before you're getting the trot away. And
Aye.
I think we're getting a wee bit. We do like consistency, which is good. I do like the fact that everyone seems to be a red card, but I definitely think for next season there has to be a bit more of a. It has to be obvious goal scoring
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we
But
can't
then,
stop it now because then people will say, "Oh, Trusty get red carded and this guy isn't getting red carded."
uh
Let's just red card it this season
yeah.
when it's a kind of last man challenge. But
What I'll say is,
I
with
do think
Scottish
there has
football,
to be a bit
what
more.
is an obvious goal scoring opportunity? We don't know because they change it every week, pretty
Yeah,
much.
and also the fact is, I don't think people are bringing in. Like I feel in England, they look at the player and go, right, is he a quick player? Is the defender a quick player? And they do seem to look at things like this. I remember Liverpool had one where they went, oh, well, the defending player was like Trent Alexander-Arnold and he's fast, so he would
Mm.
get back. You're like, well,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I don't necessarily know that that's right either, but at the same
But
time,
would he get back? I
it's
mean, would he get back in every situation that you're thinking of?
I know
Or
that's what I
not?
mean. Do you know what I mean? And like,
Aye.
we don't know if it's the 90th minute. Would he get back? He might be
Mm-hmm.
knackered. The first minute, where do you stop with these things? But
Well, what I would like,
either
talking
way,
about English football, what I would like is to see the referees come out, mic'd up, speak to the crowds, what they do in
yeah,
England. But
I want to see that up
you know,
here because I
aye,
don't.
definitely,
I'd like to hear the conversation the way they do in rugby. I want to hear the
yeah,
back and forth, the way you
hundred
do in
percent,
that VAR show. But just let us,
100%.
if you're going to release it a month later, just release it on the day.
And then if the fans wouldn't think that there was a
Conspiracies, not.
conspiracy,
They would just go. Do you know what? I don't agree with it, but at least I've understood how they've came to that decision.
but then
Like
we
you
can
can still
understand
not
why the
agree, but
fans, we can understand why the fans are the way they are at the minute because they're hiding it and then they release it about a
aye.
month later. What
And
is
you
the
don't know if
point?
that's edited. That's the thing.
Well,
You don't know. That
exactly.
could be.
So it's all
But
pre-recorded.
what I would say is a good result for Dundee United, and that's them through. Obviously, I think we can touch on this now before we go on to the Aberdeen one. But
Mm.
Dundee United now need to go to Falkirk. What are you thinking about that one? I think that's a good game, but I'd
Aye,
fancy Falkirk. Obviously, we know
on forum, yeah, on forum,
we've
yeah.
got St Mirren Partick, where I think most people favour St Mirren. You've now got, obviously, we'll touch on the Aberdeen game, but the Vermont Aberdeen. I think Neil Lennon will be absolutely buzzing
No, he will be.
to get
Aye,
Aberdeen rather than Motherwell because
yep.
I think Motherwell would have taken them apart probably, but
Mhm.
he'll feel that if they beat Hibs, they can beat Aberdeen, and
Yep, I would say so.
I think they'll be pretty not confident, but I wouldn't surprise me if Dunfermline won that tie. That's all I'm saying.
Me either. Me either. Yeah.
But if we talk about the Aberdeen Motherwell game, it was a tale of red cards. Now,
Yeah.
3 minutes in,
A
this
few.
one, no arguments, right? The boy catches him on the edge of the box. It's Lyle Cameron, I think, that's going through.
Hmm.
It's a denial of a goal scoring opportunity. There's no debate, right? Because like the Hearts one, remember against St Mirren,
Yep.
if you're going into the box and it's a last man type challenge, you're going to get a shot away. There's no
Well, it's
ambiguity. It's not
obvious.
on the halfway line. It's a red card.
It's clear and obvious.
And fair play to Kevin Nisbet, scores for the free kick, which there's nothing better than when somebody goes down to 10 men, if you can score for that, because
Hmm.
you're not then spending 10, 15 minutes trying to break down a
Yep.
team. It's really taking advantage right there and then. But
Instantly,
Aberdeen
it
did.
scuppers their momentum right
Yep,
away.
and Aberdeen did what Aberdeen do, though. They shot themselves in the foot with their own red card after
Hmm.
23 minutes. And this is quite similar to the Asgard one on Ralston in the Old Firm Cup
The
semi,
kick.
where
The kick.
I don't think the boy means it, but he catches him in the middle of the stomach. And what can you do? You know,
Hmm.
he's not looking. I don't think he's looking to do the guy. He's just eyes on the ball, and one player goes forward, and he's trying to bring the ball down, but he's collided, and it's a red.
Aye.
The debatable one is at 1-0 just after half time. Liam Gordon gets a red card for sort of hauling down Olasanya, who'd kind of slipped, but he slipped into him.
Hmm.
And you're just like, to me, his touch wasn't even taking him outside of the centre circle in
Hmm.
the opposition half. And it
Yeah.
wasn't a touch that was taking him towards goal. It wasn't even taking him forward. It was just a touch. And,
Yeah.
and to me, there was covering defenders. I didn't like that one. I don't think that
Well, for
anyone can
me,
definitively say that that denied an obvious goal scoring opportunity. I think
of
it
course.
denied a possible,
Hmm.
because if he takes a great touch and then another touch and another touch, he might get a shot away. But I
Aye.
don't think anyone can tell me on the halfway line, when he's barely even running towards goal with a defender covering, that that's an obvious goal scoring opportunity. Now, don't
That
get me
was
wrong.
that.
What I said
That's
earlier about a fast player, Olasanya is a fast player,
yeah.
and he might have went in on goal and got a shot away, but I didn't like it.
But that's what I was going to say. If there is a covering defender, then it's not an obvious goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
You cannot say
And
that it is. So it's not a
And
red
as I
card
said,
then.
if the touch is taking him away, like if the defender's here, right, and the touch takes him that way, like
Hmm.
away from him, then you could say, okay. But if the
Hmm.
touch takes him here,
Yeah.
that's not an obvious one. And fair play to Aberdeen though, because what teams don't always do is when they got another chance of being a man up, and they took advantage, because I think it was about maybe 10, 15 minutes after the second one, Andrew Shinnie scores. Graham Shinnie.
Graham
Just always
Shinnie.
get the two mixed up. Graham Shinnie scores a really good goal, and it's a great result for Aberdeen, and it gives them an opportunity to defend their trophy.
Ah, it
Um,
does, aye.
I'm not 100% sure they'll beat them, Fairman, as we just said, but they'll be happy to be in the quarterfinals. They'll be happy to know that Rangers or Celtic are going out, and they'll probably look at the other teams like Falkirk, Dundee United, St Mirren, Partick, and Dunfermline, and think, on
We've
paper, Aberdeen
we've
are
got a
probably
chance.
stronger. You know
Well,
what I mean?
aye.
I know that I know that games aren't won on paper, but
No,
they should be looking at it going, one of the old firms going out.
Aberdeen are the holders.
We are on paper the best of the rest.
Hmm.
They should be getting to a final, unless they
Aye.
get Rangers or
Well,
Celtic in the semi.
of course,
But
aye.
yeah, but they should be thinking strong. Whether they will, because Aberdeen are a wee bit up and down, aren't they? But I think
Hmm.
it's set up good quarterfinals. I know it's a couple of weeks away yet on that one, but I think they're certainly interesting ties.
Yeah.
And everyone should be going in. I don't think there's any side going into that tie thinking they've not got a chance, because even Partick will feel they've got a chance against St Mirren, because I don't think
Hmm.
St Mirren are firing on all cylinders right now.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
Dundee United Falkirk will think that's a 50-50 tie. Rangers Celtic will think we can both win that. Celtic will be buoyed by having a bigger support. Rangers will be happy
Why
by
not?
having a home game. Do you know what I
Why
mean?
not?
Like, so
Hmm.
there's positives on both. I don't think anyone's going to be in thinking we've not got a hope. And as I said, Dunfermline having a home draw against Aberdeen, they'll feel like it in Aberdeen. will feel we can defend our title. So
Yep.
I think it's exciting. But if we get on to obviously the Celtic game last night, because I feel this deserves its own talking point, because aside for the game, I think there was multiple talking points
Yep.
between
Definitely.
player form, protests, booing
Protest.
players,
Yep.
Martin O'Neill's very
Post-match
strong reaction
interview. Yep.
to it, and whether
hmm
whether you agree with him or disagree with him, I think it was bold that he at least didn't play that politician crap and
Of
sit on the
course.
fence. He actually
Yep.
told you what he thought, and I like that.
hmm
I don't
Me too.
necessarily agree with him on everything, because I think he said something like, we'll get on to the game in a minute, but he said something like it disrupted the game and it gave, Stuttgart a feeling that, Celtic weren't all together. I don't
No,
necessarily think Stuttgart can gain that after 15 seconds.
no, but I have to.
You know,
No, but I have to agree with him to a certain extent
no, I do agree with him, but
because
the thing is,
what he's meaning by
there's
that is
bits of it.
Stuttgart have sensed that there's obviously something up here, and they don't feel as intimidated as they might have done.
I would like to, but he mentioned the fact that he comparing it to, going to Celtic Park when you beat teams like Juventus,
Like
but
Juventus.
it's not the same team. It's not the same
I know, I
club.
get it, but
I
I can
mean,
see what
let's
he
be
means
honest.
though.
Yeah, but
I,
over the last few years, we've seen teams like
but
Bodo
Celtic Park
Glimt
was
go
always
to Celtic
a
Park and
fortress.
pump
It was
them.
always a
No, I
fortress
know,
in
but
Europe, under him especially. It was.
no, definitely under him. But I'm just saying, like, people like Rodgers have ruined that over the last
Even
decade.
under Strachan, Celtic Park was a fortress because we'd very rarely
It
lost
was.
a game at
It
Celtic Park
was.
under Strachan.
Let's be honest, it all went to
hmm
shit when it was Dyla and Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Postecoglou
Even Lennon was all
improved
right.
it. Definitely. Postecoglou improved it a wee bit.
Aye.
I mean, at Celtic Park, but
Aye.
away from home, he couldn't quite get a grasp
I,
of European
I,
football. But
I know. The
Lennon
Real Madrid,
definitely.
the Real Madrid game aside, obviously at home we played them and we got classed. We got outclassed eventually, but we held them.
Yeah,
About 60th minute, maybe something like that. But
I just think
yeah,
that Celtic Park hasn't been a fortress in years in terms of Europe, because
which is
you
a
just don't
shame,
have the
really.
same, because you don't have the same quality of player. That is the big thing, is that
The thing
your
is though,
quality of player in 2002-3 was exceptional.
but see when
It
you get
was. I mean,
players, see when you get players like Kyogo, I'm going to use these two as an example, Kyogo and Kun, who were of a certain quality. See if you sell them and you don't replace them with adequate or similar quality, you're going to fail.
yeah, it's not
It's not
just
going to
they
work.
two. I think like
I know
any
there's others as
signings,
well. There is
but
others as
also the
well.
fact that you went into we'll get, because we will get onto this, because it is a talking point on the game. But you
Bayern Munich
decided
game.
to go into this season into a season with an injured goalkeeper as your number one, and not really a tested number two.
But the
And
thing
let's be
is,
honest, Ross Doohan is not any more than a number three.
Sonny Salo done well when he came in last season to an extent he
No,
did,
what I'm
and
saying
he's
is,
never been given a proper chance.
if you knew your goalie was iffy, right, in terms of diving one way
Aye.
or needing
hmm
painkiller injections to get through games, you
Yep.
go out and get an experienced backup. It's just as simple as that. I
But
mean,
I don't agree with fans booing
yeah.
their own
So we'll go
players. I don't agree
game.
with that.
Let's take it through. I thought Celtic started quite well, actually. I thought they came out in the first 10 minutes and they looked bright, but
hmm
they shot themselves in the foot with the opening goal. I think I don't really blame Schmeichel as much for the kick out. I blame him for the shot, right? But I don't think the kick out
Yeah,
was that bad. I think the biggest problem was that when he kicked it out,
they couldn't get down to it to
uh,
get it.
no, yeah, but no, that I will get to that. But see, when he kicked it out, Scales and Tierney pressed forward too quickly,
Well,
and then they got
Scales,
a header behind them,
need I say
and they
more?
were all. No one was in a line.
hmm
Like, that guy could have been caught offside
Aye,
if you had a competent back four who were on the
that's
same
right.
page.
hmm
Because I don't think he'd done it. He was lazy coming out, but he got caught onside because yous were lazier. But the
That's
shot is
exactly it.
just terrible. It's not
Oh, it's
even a good
terrible.
shot. It's in the middle of the goal.
But it's an easy
The
save.
third goal's worse, but the first goal, I just think it's one that I've seen happen quite a lot. Similar type goals to him. Like Utrecht, there was a very similar, wasn't it? It's low down.
Aye.
It's not right in the corner.
Yep.
Even to an extent, Mikey Moores in the cup game. I know, like in the league game, I noticed the third in the game was pretty much over, but I don't think Mikey Moore puts a lot of power in the shot. I think it's a well placed shot. It's low, but I wouldn't even say it's like drilled. You know what I mean? It's low and past, and he isn't getting down to low. I don't even want to say low and hard shots. I don't think he's getting down to low shots
I know.
unless he saves
That's
it
it.
with his feet. And I've
Well,
noticed him making good saves with his feet, right?
if you
Because
noticed,
he is a great goalkeeper with his
aye,
feet.
but
But
if you noticed at the weekend against Kilmarnock, the second goal that Kilmarnock scored, he goes to save that with his right
wrong
hand,
hand. I know.
and his left hand's closer. So if you can't
Yeah,
use that, why is he in
he shouldn't
goals?
be playing. No.
He shouldn't
But
be playing.
But fair play to Celtic after the goal because they reacted well, and Negrin done his only
Yep.
thing that he ever does,
Well, that's
score,
it. Apart from
and
that, he
then
done
goes
nothing in the
missing
game.
for the other 89
Yep.
minutes of a
That's
football
exactly
match.
it. That's exactly it.
But then I felt Celtic, although at one each they had about 5-10 minutes where they were okay, but I
I
felt
felt
from about,
sorry. I felt sorry for Paulo Bernardo as well because I thought he'd a real
I
chance,
thought he
and
was okay.
I thought he was all right. But
I don't think he was terrible,
no, but I like Bernardo. I do like him. I like him,
you're
but
not going to see the best of him by playing him once and then
I know, and then
putting
ditching
him
him.
away for 6 weeks and then bringing him
Hmm.
back in. Rangers
Yeah,
used to do that with Charlie Adam under Walter Smith, and it used to baffle me. They'd bring him in for an Old Firm game, right? Because he adds a bit of balance, and you're like, well, how do you expect him to be at his best if you've not played him for
if you don't
6 weeks? You
consistently
know,
play the
and
guy,
then people boo him and say, "Oh, he's no good enough." He's like, "Well,
mhm,
you
he's not getting
can't
a
judge him
chance.
on so, no consistently." So,
Mhm.
and I think Bernardo is a tidy player. I watched him
Mhm.
for
Aye.
Portugal. I know it was under 21 football, but I watched him for Portugal under 21s, where I know they're like the under 23s essentially. But he's he's obviously a tidy player at that level, and if he's in and amongst really good players, I mean, I think he
Mhm.
was even captain, was he not, in one or two of the
I
games? And
think he was. Yeah.
um, but at Celtic, he just looks terrible. But I do think we will get onto that because I'm going to make a point when we get onto previewing because I think the balance in the Celtic midfield's all wrong. But
Mhm.
I
And
think
I
if
want
we
to,
talk about the
but I
last
want
10 minutes of the first half, you were
well,
terrible though.
before we get to that, I also
Mhm.
want to mention Maeda. I know Maeda was terrible as well, right? But what I will say in
Yeah.
Maeda's defence is he was in the wrong side of the field. He wasn't
I
in the right
know, but
position.
you tried
That's
the
the
thing
only
of.
positive. That's the only
But
defence I've got to him. The fact
see
that
to
he
me though,
wasn't.
Rangers make this excuse for Gassama all the time, right? And say, he's better on the left than he is on the right. A
Mhm.
footballer should be able to play anywhere.
I
Right,
know,
I'm
but
sorry, but
he
he's
is
a Japan
predominantly a
international.
left-sided player.
Yeah, he's a Japan international who plays up front for his club, for his
Hmm.
country. Now he should be able to play up front for Celtic if he can do it for Japan. And then if he can play left wing, you should be able to play right wing.
Well,
Yeah, you might
he
not be
did last
as good,
season. He did last
but to
season.
me, Daisa Maeda is a fabulous footballer in terms of his effort, his work rate.
His
But see
energy.
if you,
Oh,
but see if he
superb.
see if he drops 5-10%, he can't rely on his football ability because he doesn't have it. Right?
I mean,
He
I
doesn't.
don't want.
And I'm not dissing the guy, but he
Um,
needs to be his maximum in terms of effort, running, pressing, because his football ability is limited. No one can
I,
argue that, right? He's got a
mhm.
touch of a donkey, right? He can finish,
I
but
don't want to
he
say.
needs. I don't think he's trying as much as he once did. Let's just say
I
that.
don't.
I
Well,
don't think
I
he's
don't.
down tools, right? I'm not saying
No,
that
but I
he's
don't.
going on there going I can't be asked, but
Mm,
when the chips are down, I don't think he's pressing like a beast like he used to.
I don't want to say that
Think he's sort of stunt on the boot.
he's not trying. I don't want to say he's not trying, but the fact that he didn't get a move in the summer is a
Yeah,
factor. They obviously
yeah,
wanted to leave, and this is Celtic over the back, as we've discussed before. If you don't bring in a replacement, you can't sell a
mhm.
guy if you've not got a replacement for him.
Well, you can if you're Adam Eder, but
Well,
you just
well, aye,
you find one that's unfit from
aye,
talented but unfit,
aye,
uh, and that was again another poor move because
it was.
you've got a guy who might be limited in terms of ability, Eder, but he'd have still got Celtic 15
Mm-hmm.
goals this year.
He would have done.
Like,
I still, I think the Oxlade Chamberlain move will turn out to be a good
whereas
one.
whereas will Ian Atchell get you 15 games?
You're lucky.
But I think the last 10 minutes of the first half, I thought Celtic were terrible, and I have to point
Mm.
that out because I think there's a balance issue in that midfield. Right, Callum McGregor's never been good enough to play centre, holding midfield on his own. Right,
I
he
thought we were
needs
missing
to be
Engels
in.
last night. To be honest, I thought we
He
did.
needs
We
to
missed
play.
Engels. We
And
missed
by the way,
Engels.
I think Chamberlain could do that with him. He needs
Aye.
to have two sitting midfielders. He's
He
young
should have
as he
been in
used to
before
be.
the European deadline as well. He should have been signed. He's a free agent. He should have been signed
Oh,
long before that European if they
also,
wanted him.
I know, but also, I mean, like choosing.
You think
I
about it,
mean,
Murray. The deadline day was the Monday, and we didn't sign him to the end of that week. He
I
could have
know,
been in
and let's be
long
honest, you
before
didn't
that.
really need Adamu in your squad. You could have got
I
away
know.
with Iheanacho being the
That's
backup,
right.
which he was last night.
That's right. Because Adamu didn't even go on last night. Didn't he go
No,
on?
because you chose Iheanacho because he's
That's
more
right.
suited to European football in
I
terms
would
of
say that.
physicality
No
and more
disrespect
like
to
for
Adamu.
like.
No
Yeah,
disrespect to the
he
boy.
needs. I think he needs to play in a two, and
Aye.
that's another interesting point. I think Celtic might copy Rangers in that manner of going. If it's not working, just get more bodies further forward. And
I
I'm not
wouldn't.
saying
I would.
Rangers
But I wouldn't
reinvented the
say
wheel.
no
I'm
to
just
that.
saying
I would prefer
we
two up
have.
front.
Yeah, I think Rangers under Danny Rule, Rangers sorted out their defence first, and then
They've
realised
sort,
that we're no very good going forward. And
but
now
they've
he's
sort of got
realised
three
that
up front at the minute. Celtic apparently got
it's
three up.
not working though because
It's not. I know
the
it's not.
two wingers don't get involved. And
I know.
Taneki again proved last night that he's an impact sub,
I think he's
and he
better
has
off
to.
the bench. I do.
Yeah, he is because he comes on when players are, and it's not just tired, but he brings energy.
He is good
And,
though. He is good. There is
yeah,
a
yeah,
player there.
so is Gassama, but you need to play to his strengths, and his
And I
strengths
thought
might be in the last half hour.
I thought Yang
You
done
know,
well when he came on as well.
yeah.
As
But I think
always.
But Yang's proved he can start a game and
Mm,
finish a game. I
that's
don't
right.
think Taneki's proved he can start a game.
Start again. No, I agree with you.
If I'm honest, and
100%.
I don't think Gassama's proved that he can impact a game for the start,
Yeah.
but he's proved he can impact it in the last half hour. So you need to
hmm
play to your strengths and
Yeah.
go with players at the right time. But I thought second half, Celtic again, start the second half started really well. I
Uh-huh.
thought first 10, 15 minutes again. Martin will obviously get something out of them when he's
hmm
talking to them, but it's almost like they forget after about an hour what he said.
Yep.
And obviously they then get the third and then the fourth, which is
Well,
then
there was a
disallowed
goal.
for
There was a goal
offside.
chopped
Aye,
off. Yeah, and it was
that's what I'm
offside.
saying.
So,
Can't argue with it. That's what we've got VAR for because
yep,
it was
that's why it's there.
close, but it was offside. It was,
But then
but
we're lucky. We're lucky. It was just offside. It
uh,
could have been 5 on. It could have been a lot worse. I mean, it's worse.
also
As
that
bad as it is, I know.
see in the last 20 minutes, I didn't think Celtic were trying.
No,
I thought they
they
gave up.
gave up. And
I
obviously,
think they
they
looked
gave
at
up.
it and went, "We've got Hibs on Sunday. It's
Of
more
course,
important."
that's more important. Of course, it is.
And but what I would say is that there was a lot of stuff to come out of the game, and we did sort of touch on it. Kasper Schmeichel had a shocker, right?
hmm
And he shouldn't be in goals because
No,
he's clearly injured. But getting
it's
booed by
finished.
your own fans wasn't
Wouldn't
nice.
boo him. I mean, you know
And
it yourself. I'm a Celtic fan. I would never
yep.
boo a Celtic player.
And I'll be
Never.
honest, I'm not. This is not a thing that's just to Celtic. I remember when Dessers was going through his really tough spell.
You get
People were
behind them. You don't
booing
boo them.
him. Aye, people were booing
You,
him and
you might not
making
agree with the
ironic
fact that he's in
cheers when
goals,
he.
but you get behind them while they're there.
I didn't like the ironic cheers though when he
When he
made
saved.
a save.
Yeah,
You're like, well, this is a guy who's won a Premier League, been to World Cups.
that's
It's
right.
not like he's a kid who's just
Mhm.
come into the team. Like
He was a great
I
goalkeeper
don't.
on his day. He was.
I am all for booing the team at half time or full time if you do, and even if it is slightly aimed at individuals,
hmm
but you don't boo
Aye.
individuals during a match.
Well, even boo the board. You know what I mean? Don't
But
boo the
that's
team.
fine.
Get
There's
behind the
always
team.
do. But I don't mind booing the team at half time. See
Mhm.
if say Celtic, right? If that was a home game against Kilmarnock, right, you would have a right to boo them at half time because the team were shocking, right?
Mhm.
And you want them to know that that's not good enough. You can't repeat it, right?
And on the protest,
But
talking about the protest as well, though, at the beginning of the game, and this is my point. Celtic, Martin O'Neill would have had a game plan to start the game in
yeah,
a certain way, and the game starts, and all these boys come onto the pitch, and that completely changes everything because it demoralises the players. They're standing about for about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, but however long it takes to get the balls
mm,
off the pitch, and the whole game plan for me then is completely out the window.
I think there's an element of truth to that, but at the same time, I don't think it can be an excuse because I often think
But
that
but it's still
no,
it
but
stops
some
momentum
people
if
within the
you've got
Celtic
momentum getting
board,
into the game.
no, but how if the Celtic board heard that sort of thing, they'd just blame the fans for last night's result, whereas the result lies at them for not having a strong enough team to compete with a, by the way, average to good Stuttgart team. I don't think they were a great team.
No, they were all
I
right.
think
They weren't
I
brilliant.
think you beat a better team in Leipzig last year. put it that way, because
And
you had a team that was good
Bayern
enough on the
Munich,
pitch.
Bayern Munich are obviously
Aye,
better than them. We ran them close
aye.
last year as well.
And I think the key thing is that the board can't just say that that was the fans' fault last night. Well, it's a bit everyone's fault. You know,
Yeah.
it's not having a good enough team on the
It,
pitch.
it's a
It's not having
collective.
harmony. They could have easily brought back the Green Brigade at any point since
Well, what
November
I
or
thought
whatever
I
when they
thought they
chipped
were
them out.
going to do it. And they've obviously not done it yet.
Mm. But if we move on, because obviously we've got obviously the weekend's game to protect, but we'll start with Celtic because obviously we've sort of led into it. But I think Celtic need changes in that team. I mean, I don't want to tell Celtic how
No.
to do their job, and certainly would
Personally,
never
I
tell
would
Martin
bring,
O'Neill. But
I would bring Oxley Chamberlain in from the start this time.
yep,
I would play him.
I would go 4-4-2, right? And I'll tell you why. Because I think Sarachi should come in at left back. Sin and
Right.
Sal should come in and goal. I think
Mm-hmm.
the centre backs and the right back's fine, right?
Yep.
You can get away with Araujo, Trusty, and Scales.
Mm-hmm. Right.
In midfield, you need Oxley, Chamberlain, and
McGregor.
McGregor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know this sounds a bit weird because
Who's your other
what do you do
midfielder?
with not just two? I'm going 4-4-2,
Oh, 4-4 to right.
right? But I'm going
Right.
4-4-2 with a kind of twist because
Right.
I don't think Maeda's good enough to play either side. I would go Yang on the right,
Right. Tenecte on the left or Nigrin.
and I would go Nigrin on the left or Yang on the left. I'd let them interchange, right? But Nigrin sort of being a wee bit infield
Mm-hmm.
and Yang staying wide, whatever wing you want him on, and then two up top. So go with Transfara and Adamu. So I would put Taneki on the bench, Maeda on the bench, probably
Mm-hmm.
Hatati in the bin.
Yep. Yeah.
But
Yeah, well.
that's what I would do just to try and
Mhm.
change it up because you need more bodies. If you're going to beat Hibs, you need to have bodies in that box.
Yep.
Uh,
I agree.
and I don't
100%.
think that you have enough. Often you're seeing the two wide players stay wide, and there's just, I mean, Transfara had a good game last night, but he had no
He did.
support.
That's right.
No support whatsoever. He was holding the
You,
ball up for no one.
you need a wee man up for front of a big man,
Yep.
and we didn't have that.
But if we go into the games, I suppose we'll start with Celtic Hibs.
Prediction.
See, if they change it up and they change the goalie and they get the crowd on their side, right, Celtic will win. If Schmeichel starts, if Atati starts, if
I still
Maeda
think we'll win.
starts,
I still think we'll
I
win.
think you'll draw. I really
No,
do.
I still think
No,
we'll win.
but can you see my point? No,
I
if
know.
you go into that game with that stale team
Mm-hmm. Yep.
who it hasn't worked for weeks and it hasn't worked against lesser teams than Hibs,
Yeah.
I think Hibs will get a draw if
Right.
you just don't change it up. So my prediction is 2-1 Celtic
Right.
if you change the team,
Mm-hmm.
one each if you don't.
I think Celtic will win 2-1 anyway, regardless.
But I do think there's a big problem there if you don't change it. Because you can't tell me that any Hibs player didn't watch that game last night and go,
No, I
the
agree with you,
fucking Schmeichel's
100%.
in that goal.
Yep.
I am shooting every time
Shoot,
I get within
shoot,
30
shooting
yards.
to the left-hand side because you can't get in.
Just
Yep,
hit it.
definitely.
Just hit them all
Yep.
low.
Mm-hmm.
See how it goes. But if we move on to Hearts Falkirk, this is another one that I'm tempted to go with a draw just because I'm so impressed with Falkirk. And I wasn't impressed with Hearts, by the way, last. I know I want to be impressed with my own team and say that Rangers bullied them and Rangers did that, right? But I don't think Rangers did anything special. If you know what I mean. I thought they were good on the day. They did enough to win. But I wouldn't say that Rangers went out there and, that's a performance that I could see beating any team. No, I just thought that Hearts were really below standard.
Mm-hmm.
And if they play like that again against Falkirk, I think Falkirk will get a point. And Falkirk beat them in the Cup at Tynecastle. So I don't think Falkirk have got a problem going there and playing well.
So
Again, I could see Hearts winning 2-1, but I'm going to go one each again. I'm going to go 2-1 eaches, which sounds like I'm just wanting these results, but I'm just being honest.
I'm agreeing with you.
I
think
they're
Hearts
tough
won't
fixtures.
win. Because the reason I think Hearts won't win is because I think their bubbles been burst because Rangers beat them last week. So I think it'll be a draw, or it could possibly be a sneaky Falkirk victory.
Okay, let's go with St Mirren Motherwell. This is a tricky one because I think St Mirren need wins, but I also think Motherwell are going to be raging at going out the cup.
They will
and
be.
Obviously,
so they'll be coming with a backlash to that.
I think Motherwell will win, but it'll be 2-1. I can always see St Mirren scoring at home because they can get a set piece, and I think but I just
I
think
know, but
Motherwell will
they've
be
been
too
the
strong.
lowest. They have been the lowest
Aye.
scorers at home, I think.
But that's
So
what I'm saying. I don't see them scoring more than one. If you know, and I think
aye,
you need maybe two to beat Motherwell, and I don't think they'll.
I think Motherwell
Uh,
will win, but I think they'll keep a clean sheet. I think it'll be 2-0 to
uh,
Motherwell.
2-0.
Yep.
Okay. Aberdeen Dundee's a really tricky one because if this was played without that cup win in midweek, I'd be going with a Dundee win, even at
Yep.
Pittodrie.
Yep.
But I think Aberdeen might take something from that cup win, and they might be able to take that into the league.
Yep.
And and
I know
Aberdeen
it's hard,
pumped
isn't it?
Dundee
Because
like they
Dundee are doing
pumped
all right as
Dundee,
well.
but they pumped Dundee 4-0 earlier in the season up there, and it was their
Aye.
first win. Member under Thielen this season.
Aye.
I'm gonna go 2-1 to Aberdeen. I just think they're going to take something from that cup win and bring it into the league. And I think Dundee are fine. I don't think they'll get dragged into a relegation fight. I think Dundee will get enough points. So
I
even
think
if
you're
they
right.
do lose, I think Aberdeen are going to sneak it.
I think you're right. I think Aberdeen will sneak it. Dundee, I could be tempted to favour Dundee maybe for a draw, but
Mm.
I think Aberdeen will probably just have enough to shade it. So I'm going
Uh,
2-1 as well.
yep, Dundee United Kilmarnock, I think it's quite tricky because
Jekyll and Hyde again.
Kilmarnock clearly can't defend, but they can
hmm
attack. But I think losing John Jules is going to put me away from a Kilmarnock win. But I'm going to go with one each, just because I don't think that Bruce Anderson's as good as John Jules is. And it's not. I'm not having a
hmm
go at the boy. I think he's a decent SPL player, but I don't think they'll have enough to beat Dundee United. But I do think if John Jules was fit, I'd have taken Kelly, because I've seen enough in that first half to suggest that against lesser teams in Celtic, they can get goals.
I know what you're saying. I see
Um,
what you're saying. But,
I think one each.
I
I also think you never know
do you
what
think it'll
Dundee
be a
United
draw?
will turn up. I'm
You
going to
think
go
it'll be
one
a draw?
each. Yeah.
Right. I think that obviously the game at the weekend, I think the last minute victory will have demoralised Kilmarnock a bit.
And Dundee United came back to win 3-2 as well, so they might be feeling good.
I think Dundee United will shade this. I think Dundee United will win 2-1.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it's that
Mm-hmm.
sort of game that no result would really shock me in that one.
Yeah.
Sunday's other one, Livingston Rangers. I fancy Livingston to score, just because I think Rangers haven't quite. Um, they haven't been as solid at the back over the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Motherwell could have scored more than one. Hearts scored a couple. I do think Rangers will win though, just because. Honestly, this is more about where Livingston are at than Rangers,
I
because
know
Livingston just can't
that's the
buy
thing. I just
a
wish Rangers were
performance,
playing somebody
and
else further up the league
this
at this
isn't
point.
this isn't the Livingston of 3-4 years ago where
No.
you go there and you can lose 1-0. I think
Mm-hmm.
even if Rangers are pish, I still think they'll win 2-1. But
2-1.
I think they'll be good and win 3-1. But do you know what I mean? But I don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Even a poor Rangers. I mean, remember when Rangers won under Martin there?
I
That
think
shows you
they'll
how
probably
bad.
win as well. I'm hoping
Yeah,
that
I think
Livingston
2-1.
can have enough. I'm hoping for a draw, but
Just can't see it though.
I think Rangers probably will shade it.
I think 2-1 is probably the smart result on that pitch, because it is a leveler.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think I think
The
Rangers will
pitch.
win, and obviously I think they'll be. I definitely think Hearts will draw, and I think
Mm-hmm.
Celtic could draw, but I think that's about the team selection, because honestly,
Mm-hmm.
see, when I see that team at 2 o'clock, I mean, I'll be more interested in the Rangers team, but when I see the Celtic team, see if I see Schmeichel and some other players that I don't think are quite on it, I'd be tempted to stick a quid on
Yeah,
Hibs to get a
yeah.
point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all dependent on the team selection for me.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a really, well, let's be honest, every weekend from now
It
to
will
the
be
end
an
is going to be
interesting
interesting.
weekend as always. Yeah.
But yeah, I think after this, you've got 11, but it's 10 games to go after this. And you've
Mm-hmm.
obviously got a game in hand
A
against
game in hand against Aberdeen midweek
Aberdeen. But this
next
is
week.
what, see, once we start getting down to single figures of games, that's when you
Mm-hmm.
start to go, oh, Jesus.
I know that's
And
it.
every point matters, doesn't it? And
Of
But
course.
I'm even looking at some draws Rangers have got recently and thinking,
Mm.
oh, they were bad draws, but they might turn out good ones.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Celtic's grinding out all these wins. Just, I mean, they can take that. It might
I don't like.
continue, but it
I
might
like the
not.
grinding out. I don't want it to continue indefinitely. I want to see
No,
them dominate a game and win a game, but we'll just need to wait and see.
I don't see that with your
No,
fixtures coming up.
I
I
know.
think it's going to need to be grind, because I don't see his. I mean, to be fair though, it
As
might
long
be
as you do
easier to
it,
play
I don't care.
Rangers
As
though. It
long as you
might
do
be
it, I
easier to
don't care.
play teams like Rangers and Hibs though than it has
It's
been
hard.
to play teams
It's hard watching it, but
really
at the end of
break
the day,
down.
when you get the victory, it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Just need to wait and see.
But I think we've only got a wee minute and a half left in this, so
Mhm.
we'll leave it
Mhm.
there, and we'll be back on Monday where we
Monday
can unpack it all, and I'm sure there'll be some VAR drama or some
controversy,
shock
whatever.
results, or
Yep.
hopefully some good goals.
Mhm.
And we can obviously have a wee chat about the second leg next week. But I think that ties over if
It's a
I'm
foregone
totally
conclusion
honest.
for me. I'm
Would
more
you?
interested in the
Uh,
league.
yeah, and I think Celtic will send out all the players that aren't going to play at Ibrox. We'll
I
start
hope
that
so.
game.
I hope they should.
But
That's what they should do.
right, we'll leave it there.
Yep.
Right, have a
Right.
good one.
Right. You
Right,
too, mate.
see you later.
Right.
Bye.
Right. Bye
Bye.
bye.